Good evening, everyone. My name is the Sports Scholar, longtime Vegas handicapper in Las Vegas. Uh, you can actually check me out on sporttalkwithmatt.com. You can also check me out on the trackpicks.com, which is I've been the number one handicapper in the NFL for the 2017. Also, number one handicapper of 2017 overall. With that said, let's go into these games. Let's dive right in. First, we have the Thursday game, which is the Miami Dolphins against the Houston Texans. Okay, Miami basically they lost at home to Detroit, first of all, and Osweiler is again the starter. Loses of his last two road games, and both teams are 4-3. Houston, on the other hand, is on fire. Won their last four in a row. This team really should be 1-6. Okay, they've had really lucky. This looks like actually a letdown spot for Houston, coming off four big wins, feeling good about themselves, especially after what they did with the Jaguars. This was a big revenge game that they had their best effort, and even though Osweiler is the quarterback for the Dolphins this game here, I think he's going to play, efficiently, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins actually get the win. The line is 7.5, which is, I think, a little much. Okay, next we have a 6:30 game in the morning, as far as Pacific time. We have a game down in London. Philadelphia against Jacksonville. Right now, the Eagles are actually -3. This is mainly a home game for Jacksonville, but they haven't scored more than 7 points in 3 games this year. Okay, so with that said, Philly's been playing pretty decent. They lost a heartbreaker last week, so I think they're ready for a comeback here. 3 points is just a field goal. I lean to the Eagles here. Okay. Next we have Cleveland and Pittsburgh. The line now is 8. Okay. Now, Cleveland has lost 2 straight. But here's the thing. The last 5 games played between Cleveland and Pittsburgh, they only lost by 3 points just once in the last 5 times they played. Okay? So each game they played Pittsburgh is either a field goal, 2 points, and this year a tie so far. Now, Pittsburgh is laying 8 points. Just think that's too many. Okay. Next game we have the Denver Broncos going against Kansas City. Now, is Pat Mahomes MVP this year? Right now, he's playing like it. Kansas City averages 38 points a game. Denver averages 24. Denver on the road has not been as strong as they have been at home. And Kansas City's been playing, I mean, they beat Denver the first time by 4. And 10 points is a lot, but I have to lean towards Kansas City in this game. Next we have the New York Jets going to Chicago. Okay, now, both teams have been playing well. The Jets were blown out by Minnesota last time, and the Jets had lost by margin only. When they did lose by margin, they came back to blow out Denver and then beat the Colts. They're 3-4. Chicago is 3-3, loser of their last two games. It looks like Chicago is going to be a little hungry here, playing at home, because they have been playing well at home. And as a matter of fact, this last game against the Patriots, they arguably could have tied, possibly won that game. They were 1 yard short. So they have looked impressive at home, and I'm not going to go against them in this spot. But 7 points, I believe it is. It is 7 points. It is a lot, because this Jets team is just a little pesky. I mean, they seem to hang around, and they give teams fits. And although, like I said, they were blown out this last week, the Jets is just one of those hang around type teams. So I don't want to go against that either. So, but if I had to pick this game, I would be probably on the Jets because of that reason. Next we have Tampa Bay at Cincinnati. Okay, the line on this game is 4.5 right now. Okay, Tampa Bay finally gets a win, but losers of their last two on the road. Tampa Bay is really hard to back here, but at the same time, Cincy is even harder to back. This team was really flat this last time out. It kind of remind me a lot of the way Jacksonville has played in the past few weeks. And with that said, it's really hard to back Cincinnati, even though I like them. But I like to see them play with more intensity, with more heart than what they showed against Kansas City last week. So with that said, the only way I can go with this game at this point is over the total, which is, at this point, is 54. I can see that going over. Although Cincinnati has only scored 21 and 10 points in the last two games. I see them scoring a little more here, but at the same time, I see Tampa Bay scoring also. So I'm not going to take a side here, not at this point. Next game we have is Seattle at Detroit. Both teams are 3-3, and both teams actually started 0-2, and they both have won 3 of their last 4 games. So both teams are looking pretty good at this point. Okay, and the thing about this game is that both teams actually remind me of each other. They seem to be mirror images of each other here. Seattle is on the road. I know Detroit's given 3. I think this game is going to be within a field goal because of the way these teams are playing. And like I said, both teams have been improved throughout the year. So with that said, I have a lean towards Seattle. Next game we have Baltimore and Carolina. Baltimore is coming off a tough loss to New Orleans, 24-23, with Tucker actually missing his first extra point, which actually lost the game there. So with that said, on the other hand, Carolina they come off a big win, scoring 21 points in the fourth quarter. So big win for them. Big loss for Baltimore. Right now the line is the Ravens is a 2-point road dog. And Baltimore has won 2 of their last 3, and Carolina is unbeaten at home. Okay. I was actually on both of these games last week, but this game here, I think the safest thing to do is to be able to tease Carolina and get the 8 points. So Carolina plus 8 is where I'm looking at. Next game we have on the board is the Washington Redskins is going to the Meadowlands to play the New York Giants. Ugly game is the way I see this one here. Washington won their last 2. The Giants lost their last 4. But these teams have split since 2014. And although they split last year, the Giants last year only won 3 games. So that tells me that they seem to, they play well against Washington at least 1 game a year. Washington in first place, probably feeling pretty good about themselves. And although I don't like to back the Giants at all, I will probably back them here. I lean to the Giants in this game here. Next game we have the Indianapolis Colts is going into Oakland. Now, Indy had a great defensive performance, holding Buffalo to 5 points last week, and no touchdowns. Oakland has been unloading players. I think they're trying to rebuild. And they've only scored 3 points and 10 points in their last 2 games. So they haven't showed much offense at all. The thing about this game is that they're coming off a bye. And it looks like to me, I mean, I've seen this many times over the years. When a team has 2 bad offensive performances like that, they normally come back to score over 20 points. So, don't know if they get the win here. As far as Andrew Luck is playing very well, as far as on the offensive side of the ball. I don't think that Indianapolis is going to have 2 straight performances like they did last week. Looking at Oakland scoring some points here, I'm looking at the over in this game, and the over, the total right now is at 50, which is pretty high, but I'm seeing both teams scoring over 20 points. Chances are I'm looking at like a 24 to 31 final, something in that range. Okay. Next game on the board, we have the San Francisco 49ers goes into Arizona. And people say this is probably the ugliest game on the board, but sometimes these games are the best ones if you want to make a wager on a game. Sometimes these are the best games to pick, to play. In this situation, San Francisco has lost 5 straight. Arizona lost their last 2. Only 1 win this year for Arizona, and that was against San Francisco a couple weeks ago. Although, here's something that really stood out to me. Arizona has beaten San Francisco 7 straight games, okay? This game here, I think, is bigger for San Francisco. I don't think there's really an advantage either way, except that it's hard to see Arizona sweeping the 49ers again this week here. Right now, the game is at a pick 'em, and I look for the 49ers to actually pull this out, and I also lean to the over in this game also. Next game that we have on the board is Green Bay Packers against the LA Rams. Okay. Rodgers never been a dog of this kind of number. Right now the number is at 9, and Aaron Rodgers normally 2-3 point dogs. I've never seen it this high, but there's probably a reason that it is this high. Packers have not won a road game this year. Okay, and the Packers are only averaging about 20 points a game on the road. The Rams, on the other hand, are averaging 36 points at home. The question is, will Aaron Rodgers be able to keep up with this offense? It's very possible. But at the same time, with that said, it sounds like this is going to be a high-scoring game. The total right now is at 56. So with the Rams averaging 36 points a game, and the Packers averaging 20, that's right at 56 actually. So I have that lean to the over actually, but because I think that Rodgers can probably score a few more, and also that 36 is just an average for the Rams. There's only one game this year they scored less than, I think, 33 points. One game. In 7 games they are undefeated. So with that said, I can see them scoring a good, 36 or more in this game against that Packer defense, which hasn't shown a whole lot this year. Okay. Next game we have is the New Orleans Saints is going into Minnesota. Okay, and as far as revenge, it smells like revenge in the air. New Orleans last year played the Vikings in the playoffs, and what happened? Hail Mary pass, and this is one game that the Saints had circled this year, okay, on their calendar. Saints winner of 5 straight, undefeated on the road, and I believe both teams will give their best effort because this is also a big game for Minnesota at home. Here's where the problem lays. The Saints have played, I think they played the last 4 out of 5 games on the road. I may be mistaken there, but it was somewhere close to that. They also have the Rams on deck. They've come off a big game against the Ravens. They squeaked that one out. Again, I was on the Ravens last week. And now they have this big game here. And then they go and play the Rams. Now, there's going to be a letdown somewhere. One of these games they're not going to be able to sustain the best effort. And it's either going to be this week or it's going to be next week. My guess is going to be this week. So, with that said, I'm going to favor the Vikings in this game. That's the Sunday night game. Now, last game on the board, we have the New England Patriots going to Buffalo to play the Bills. Line right now is at 14. Okay, you Bills fans, this message is for you. Okay? You had botched this up. Now, it's not necessarily the fans, but the team itself. You really botched this up. So, you made your bed, now you have to lie in it. You had a quarterback over there, Tyrod Taylor. No, he wasn't the best quarterback at all. He was a quarterback that actually was serviceable. He took you to the playoffs last year. Okay? The Bills organization was so much in a rush to get rid of this guy. As a matter of fact, last year he took a $10 million pay cut just to stay there, to play for him. Okay? They wanted to put Peterman in there so bad, a guy who wasn't ready. And you basically destroyed his career. from not only last year but this year. You got rid of Tyrod to keep Peterman. Okay, you did that. Now that you see that Peterman was nothing but a bust, he's still on that team. Okay, Josh Allen, a guy who I think has a lot of potential, but at the same time, you had to throw him in there when he's not ready. So now he's hurt, and you have a good opportunity to destroy his career also. I hope not, but at the same time, this is the position that you put yourselves into. So, what do you think? Derek Anderson is the answer? Do you really believe that? Now, if you guys believe, let me put it this way. If you're just a person who like to go to the games or watch the games to get drunk and have fun, fine. But if you want to win, this is not the way to go. I'll give you the answer. Colin Kaepernick. Give him a call. Why Colin Kaepernick? Because this is a Super Bowl quarterback, so he's very serviceable. More than serviceable, he's a good quarterback. He'd taken a team to the Super Bowl. Okay? As a matter of fact, he was chosen by the 49ers over Alex Smith, who is probably a top 15 quarterback also. So where do you put Kaepernick? He would be probably in the top 10. Still in his prime. He's a winner. The type of, the style that the Bills play would fit right in for him. Okay? The season's not over with yet. You have 5 losses. You're only going to get probably 2 more wins this year. And that's when Allen comes back. You're not going to get it before that. So what do you want? Do you want to win, or someone's political stance is more important? Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. You can subscribe, click on like, if you would, please. And again, you can check me out on sporttalkwithmatt.com. And again, trackpicks.com, where, again, the #1 handicapper in 2017, also the #1 in the NFL in 2017. Thanks again for watching.